of King Poetry Black Ice. Once in a lifetime, society is blessed with a rare spirit that brings forth to change, set new standards of greatness, and serves as a sacrifice for a future generation. Black Ice is one of the greatest spoken word entertainers of his generation. Black Ice is a award-winning American poet, international spoken word life artist, entertainer, lecturer, promoter, producer, host, published, author, mentor, activist with over 30 years in the game. Right there, give him a clap. The contribution of this amazing artist to America and Chicago spoken poetry is truly monumental. Black Ice made history by establishing the first National Spoken Awards in 2017. In 2021, he won the 7th Chicago Music Award. Amen. Amen. His 6th for the best poet. He produced and released his 29th and 30th albums. Not only has he left an imprint in the spoken world international, but he has also left his footprint in the communities of all across America with his artist, activist movement, poet, inspiring thousands of ordinary people to use their gift to do extraordinary work in their communities. Let's introduce again Black Ice.
Hey God, where you at? I've been looking for you. Seems like you've been avoiding me or something. And I've been searching for you for years with no answer, just anticipation. And I've been going through this transformation, but every time I call on you, God, it's like I get put on hold. And they say that you hear all and that you see all, but seems like you ain't never available, God, when I call. See, y'all, I remember it was January 91. I had just left Simeon's Martin Luther King ceremony speaking. I wasn't feeling too well that day. Little did I know that all the while, my appendix had been leaking. And where were you, God? Just when I thought nowhere to be found. And if it wasn't for my son's mother convincing me to go to St. Bernard's that night, Black Ice wouldn't be here with you right now. And where were you at, God, that morning when I went to work and when I went to 123rd and Kenzie, right by the cemetery, this lady ran the light. The last thing I saw was headlights. A 3-car collision that almost took my life, but where were you, God? And where were you at, God, when my mother was stricken with cervical cancer? She's been going to the Kingdom Hall, serving him since before I was born, and we both called on you, and you still didn't answer. Come on, God, this is my mother. Tell me, is this how you treat all your sons and your daughters? And where were you at, God, that day my son died? I sat there at the University of Chicago, and I watched them come back twice. You could have intervened. You could have saved his life, but where were you, God? And where were you at, God, when... Okay, my son, I've heard enough. Now, I know that times for you have been rough, but son, where's your faith? Seems like you only seek my face when you need me, for I am a full-time God, my son. Do you really believe in me? Well, if so, then you would know that I am the creator of the universe. All that you see from the highest heights of heaven to what you have discovered beneath the earth. See, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the God of Moses, Lot, and David. I am the one who made Solomon wise. I put Noah in the ark before the waters could rise. I gave Samson the strength to destroy the Philistines with no eyes. I am that smooth stone that David slung that smote Goliath in the head. The cracks that crumble the walls of Jericho, the same one that rose Lazarus from the dead. I am the blood of the lamb of the doorpost that kept the children of Israel safe from harm. Even the staff in Moses' right arm, and I gave him the power to split the Red Sea in half. Shall I go on?
Come on. Amen.
I said, please forgive me, Father. He said, no, son. I already have. But like Jonah, you've been running from your mission. I've been trying to reach you and speak to you for years, but your ego just wouldn't let you listen. See, when your appendix was spreading poison through your body, I was the voice that spake to your son's mother, warning you. And do you remember what you promised me, my son? Yes, Lord, I do. I promise you that if you allow me to make it through, then I will turn my life over to you. But what did you do? You continued to play. So I spoke to you again in the form of a 3-car collision, but I allowed you to walk away that day. And have you ever asked yourself the question, while the accident was by a gravesite, I was showing you that the road that you were traveling on ended at the cemetery if you didn't change your life. But you still didn't listen. And as for your mother's cervical cancer, I am the reason why your mother's cancer is in remission. And I know your son's gone. But his body was sick, so I relieved him of his pain and I called him home. And yet and still I stayed by your side all those moments that you felt alone, yet you still rejected my truth. If you only could have put your ego to the side and listened to all those whom I sent to you. Lord, you mean to tell me all the while I was waiting to hear from you? You were sending me messages through all those whom I rejected? Yes, my son, this is true. And instead of focusing on the guides, submit to the truth that you find inside. For Satan is the one who subtracts and divides, but my God is the one who adds and multiplies. Yes. I'm telling y'all, he opened my eyes. And so to those of you who can't accept the truth, because your ego won't allow you to accept who the truth is coming through, take this as a lesson. Because see, God just ain't using these leaders today, because asking some of these leaders questions is just like asking blind men for directions. But it's the truth that counts. Yep. And see, in this case, my ego just wasn't my ego, but my ego was easing God out. That's that piece. Can I get somebody to say amen? Amen? That was my testimony, losing my son when he was at the age of 15 to a form of bone cancer called osteosarcoma. A little bit of me died that day my son died. And you all know how that feels when you lose someone that's close to you. I've lost a parent, but it wasn't nothing in comparison to losing a child. Come on. Yeah. And if you ain't lost a child, you can't say, I know how you feel. Please don't do that. Yeah. So when I'm speaking at funerals and gunshot victims they lost, I say, I don't know how you feel, but I know how it feels to lose a child. Yeah. And so when God created Adam in the book of Genesis, he created him from the dirt or the ashes. Sometimes it takes tragedy in your life for you to die in your own self to become that pile of dirt again to God, for God to create a new Genesis. We all need that new Genesis, because thank God we don't look like what we've been through. Right? And we ain't where we want to be, but we thank God that we ain't where we used to be. And so in closing out, I want to share a poem with you called The Elevator. Okay. This poem is just representative of what you're going to go through if you haven't gone through it already. You're going to lose some people in this life. And you know every new level you're going to encounter that new devil. Somebody say the elevator. The elevator. There's this elevator, right? It's full of people. Some family, some friends, some strangers. But you're all in the basement. See, the basement represents that brand new idea that was blessed to be manifested in your mind. But by the time you share your idea with the 10 people standing in the elevator next to you, some of them get off before the door even closes. Sort of like those so-called friends. The ones who you thought would be there through thick and thin down to the end didn't even make it to the first floor. The door closes. The elevator rises. Much to your surprise, you're making progress. The bell rings, you're at the first floor. The door opens, and guess what happens next? Those childhood friends, well, they got goals of their own. Time for you to be strong, because you're going to lose some of these friends during this ride and feel alone. But as they walk out, a few more friends walk in. You started off with 10, but now you're down to 8. Now, one of the new friends who just walked in pressed floor 2. So you know what that means. The next time the elevator door opens, they'll be going too. But before they left, they introduced you to one of their friends who became your friend. Then y'all became close like kin. The door opens at floor 2. You lose a few, but but one man walks in, and he becomes your boyfriend. And now we're down to 7. Now only 4 out of the 7 are the original occupants that you begin with. In all, there are 2 strangers, one cousin, one friend, your mom, and a boyfriend. Now the elevator passes floor 3. Seems like life is finally looking up. But just as soon as you get comfortable, you're at the 4th floor and the door opens up. You're staring death right in the face. Quickly you step back. He reaches in his arm and unexpectedly takes your mom. Everyone in the elevator consoles you. But this takes an emotional toll on you and your relationship. Everything you ever believed in or ever knew about is in doubt. You become so emotionally cold that right before the doors close, your boyfriend walks out. What's to expect by floor 5? Now what just happened on the 4th floor was a game changer. But by the time floor 5 arrives, you will lose one of those strangers. But before he leaves, he whispers to you, "There's something that I hope that you see." She said, "What's that?" That God wants you to go through everything that you're going through in order for you to get to where he wants you to be.
Yeah, that's right.
He leaves. 4 remains. Only 1 more floor to go. But between the 5th and the 6th floor, you notice something. That other stranger reaches around you and hits the stop button. Everything is frozen except you and him. He said, "Okay, it's time for us to talk. Now I've been here since the beginning. And I've seen everything that happened, and not once did you ever acknowledge me. I even gave you words of comfort when you lost your mommy. I thought at that point you would want to get to know me. Look around. Out of the 10 that you started out with, there's only a few. Now you have a choice or 2. You can continue on. Use the experience of what you've been through to help heal, or you can do what you've been thinking, go in that purse and take those pills." She said, "No, I want to live." Well, then you need to learn how to forgive. She now knew who she was talking to. She takes a deep breath and asks for forgiveness, but he said, "I'll forgive you when you learn how to forgive yourself." He pressed the button. The bell rings. The door opens at the 6th floor. To your surprise, your ex-boyfriend is standing there. Offer you his hand. You turn right around, look at that man right in the face, and smile. See, out of the many people that have already come into your life, you've already lost the majority. Expect for the ones closest to you to disappoint you, let you down, betray you, but don't you change, stay you. And at the end of the day, when you place your family and friends before God, he will remove them to show you that he's a jealous God. And none should be placed before him. Trust him to know that he will replace everything stolen, restore everything lost, and heal everything broken. See, in life, you're going to have some knockdowns on the way up. But it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. Thank you.
Amen. Thank God. Did he do well? Yes. And I don't know if I announced it, he's actually on lunch break. So I thank God that he came through. It's amazing. I know him as just the person that's Blaq Ice just then. That's the first time I ever heard him speak. But we just naturally clicked. Not just giving them a small testimony as you go. We naturally clicked because somebody said that he wanted to meet me because he was running. And I'm like, who is this brother who wanted to meet me? And so anyway, we